I remember the first video I ever uploaded. I spent hours on it, not because I was thinking about the analytics or how to create the perfect hook, title, or thumbnail, but because I was having fun. I wasn't trying to bend the knee to the algorithm overlord, no analytics dashboard to obsess over and check every single hour. It was just me, an idea, and the thrill of putting something out into the world. But somewhere along the way, this all changed. The fun got buried under a mountain of data, and creativity has become a casualty in the war for views. That version of YouTube feels almost like a distant memory. This was a place defined by its slogan, "Broadcast yourself," many years ago. It was a digital playground for spontaneous, quirky, and sometimes downright bizarre videos, all made without some grand strategy. The barrier to entry was low, which fostered a culture of open, playful expression. You could upload a 3-minute experiment and get comments that sparked a real conversation. That was the reward. Today, the entire culture feels like it's been replaced by something more autonomous, more analytic, and a whole lot less fun. YouTube has changed, and it's about time we talked about it. This is the story of how the relentless pursuit of numbers, driven by an entire industry of growth hacking gurus, has systematically squeezed the joy and creativity out of YouTube. It started discreet. First, it was the simple view count, that little number that gave you a jolt of excitement as you saw it go up. But that's when the YouTube corporates attacked. When the partner program came out around 2007, which introduced monetization and transformed a fun hobby into a potential career. A year later, in 2008, YouTube rolled out a more advanced analytics tool called Insight, and everything began to shift. Suddenly, creators had access to all this data: who was watching, where they came from, how long they stayed. I don't think anyone could have expected that a simple quality of life feature would change a once creative and growing platform into a hole of oversaturation and more clones than the Camino facility. The first real turning point came in 2012, when YouTube's algorithm made a fundamental change. It stopped prioritizing raw view counts and started focusing on watch time. The logic behind this was a click doesn't mean a viewer is satisfied, but keeping them watching does. This shift was transformative in more ways than one. It rewarded creators who could hook viewers and hold their attention. A surface level view of this would say, well, that just means we would get more quality content, right? This is true. But it also makes sure to train creators into a metaphorical cage. That cage being a creative limit, and YouTube holding the key to that cage, only offering you freedom if the content you make is similar every single time. This is part of the reason so many creators have different channels. They'll have a vlogging channel, a gaming channel, cooking channel, the list goes on. Simply put, YouTube punishes you for branching out of your box the algorithm has confined you to. Suddenly, it's not just enough to make a good video, you had to engineer them. The first 30 seconds have become the most critical real estate on this platform. You need a killer hook to stop people from clicking away. The editing has to be tighter, faster, with no room for a viewer's attention to wander. This data-driven approach has created a whole new vocabulary for creators. CTR, click-through rate, AVD, average viewer duration, and audience retention. The analytics dashboard, once a curiosity, has become a new boss, and a demanding one at that. This is where the idea of growth hacking has really sunk its claws into this platform. It's a term borrowed from the hustling world that refers to using rapid metrics-driven tactics to accelerate growth. On YouTube, this translates to endless A/B testing of thumbnails and titles, surgically analyzing which colors, fonts, and facial expressions get the most clicks. It means finding your one high-performing video and regurgitating it, but with a slight change endlessly, creating a monotonous loop of what you know works. The algorithm tends to reward patterns. It struggles with true disruptive creativity because there's no prior data for it, so it often promotes what's familiar, creating feedback loop that leads directly to content harmonization. Think about the YouTuber reaction face you see in so many thumbnails. The bright colors, the red arrow or circle, the bold text, the almost uniform grammar of a successful video's packaging. It's not a coincidence, it's convergence. It's thousands of creators all looking at the same data, all arriving at the same conclusions about what works. The result is a landscape where it feels like stylistic diversity is shrinking, and taking a creative risk has become an act of defiance against the platform's core logic. You start asking not what am I passionate about, but what topic has high search volume and low competition. The art of creation has become the science of distribution. And as creators have grown desperate to understand the algorithm's obscure rules, a new industry has emerged to sell them the answers: the YouTube guru economy. These are consultants channels, and course sellers who promise to reveal the secrets to beating the algorithm. They offer a seductive premise. Growth isn't a mysterious creative process. It's a predictable engineering problem that can be solved with the right formula. Their playbook is remarkably consistent. They teach you to find a top-performing video in your niche and just do it again, but slightly better. They preach the gospel of optimization, offering frameworks and checklists for the perfect title, thumbnail, and upload schedule. They sell channel audits and one-on-one coaching, professionalizing a set of tactics that prioritize algorithmic appeasement above all else. The problem with this guru-led approach is that it frames creativity as a weakness, a risky, unpredictable variable in an equation that demands consistency. The advice is almost always to narrow your focus, find a hyper-specific niche, and never ever deviate. If you make a video about woodworking that does well, the guru logic dictates that you must become the woodworking person, and any video about baking will be punished by the algorithm for confusing your audience profile. This creates an environment where creators feel trapped in a box of their own success. They're incentivized to repeat themselves, leading to a feeling of being on a hamster wheel, churning out content, not because they're inspired, but because the analytics demand it. You're no longer just making a video, you're feeding a machine, and when the machine doesn't respond, it feels like a personal failure. The psychological toll of this game is brutal, trapping creators in a vicious cycle of performance anxiety and creative exhaustion. And now, this entire process is being supercharged by artificial intelligence. AI tools can generate video ideas, write scripts, and create thumbnails, further lowering the barrier to entry for optimization-focused content. This adds to the pressure many creators feel to adopt these tools just to remain competitive. The efficiency is undeniable, of course, but it pushes the platform even further from human-driven passion and towards machine-driven optimization. But like all creative endeavors, there comes a breaking point. It's that moment you stare at a blank project file, not filled with excitement, but dread. You get to the point where you think, I have to make a video today, not I want to make a video. This feeling is the starting point of creator burnout, a state of exhaustion caused by the relentless pressure to perform. I've had a breaking point before. I had an idea for a video that I was genuinely excited about. It was different, maybe a little experimental considering my channel. It didn't fit neatly into my analytics suggestive box. I spent weeks on it, poured my heart into the script, my editing, everything. I was proud of it, and I thought it was one of the best things that I'd ever made. I published and nothing. The video tanked. My regular viewers didn't click at the rate the algorithm expected. The watch time was lower than my formulaic videos, and so the algorithm decided it wasn't worth showing to anyone else. It died on the algorithmic shelf. That was the moment some of the fun died for me. The joy of creation was completely overshadowed by the cold, hard data of failure. All that passion and work invalidated by a graph. It felt like YouTube itself was telling me, we don't want your creativity. We want your consistency. It's a feeling many creators know all too well. You're forced to choose between making the content you love and making the content the algorithm loves. It's a soul-crushing dilemma. This pressure doesn't just stifle individuals, it reshapes the platform's culture. The kind of playful, maybe quirky, but natural expression that defined early YouTube seems to have taken a backseat, thrown away in favor of a professionalized, growth-hacking industry. The economic incentives have risen, making it harder for casual creators and hobbyists who can't or won't invest in optimization strategies to gain visibility. The platform that was once about broadcasting yourself now feels like it's about broadcasting a carefully curated, algorithm-friendly version of yourself. When content is engineered to perform rather than to express, we lose the authentic voices that made YouTube special in the first place. After my failure, I was almost ready to quit. A lot of the joy was gone. But then as I watched other creators talk about their own struggles with burnout, I had an epiphany. The problem wasn't my creativity. The problem was my definition of success. I had allowed a dashboard of metrics to become the sole arbiter of my work's value. The algorithm isn't a neutral judge of quality. It's a tool designed for one purpose: to keep people on the platform as long as possible. That's it. It's not a measure of heart, originality, or artistic merit. So what do? The solution isn't to beat the algorithm. That's the language of the gurus who sell the idea that it's a game to be won. The real solution is to change how we play. It's about redefining your relationship with analytics. Use them as a compass, not a destination. I liked the idea of the one for them, one for me. It's a simple but powerful concept. You make the videos you know the algorithm will likely reward, the ones that pay the bills and keep the channel visible, but you also carve out protected space to make the videos that are just for you. The passion projects, the weird experiments, the creative risks. And for those videos, you have to define a different metric for success. Success isn't the view count, it's the fact that you made it. It's being proud of the work. This is the mindset shift from extrinsic to intrinsic motivation. You have to find the joy in the process again. Separate yourself from the outcome. Analytics can tell you what your audience wants to see, and that's useful, but it can't tell you what you want to create to feel fulfilled. Another part of this is to actively distance yourself from obsessive metric checking. Research has shown that frequent social media metric checking can be linked to higher anxiety and lower well-being. It becomes an addiction, so be sure to set your boundaries. Check your stats once a day or once a week. Use the data to learn general trends, but don't let it dictate your every creative impulse, or more importantly, your self-worth. So what does this all look like? It looks like making a video you're passionate about, even if you suspect the algorithm might tank it. It looks like being proud of your flops because they came from an honest place. It's about remembering why you started creating in the first place, the fun, the passion, the simple joy of making something and putting it out there. The truth is, this system isn't likely to change for the better. YouTube is a business, and its algorithm serves its business goals, but we as creators can change our approach. We can reject the guru mindset that reduces art to a formula, and we can support other creators who take creative risks. And as an audience, we can make the effort to seek out original content that might not be trending on the homepage. This isn't a call to abandon analytics entirely. Of course, information is a powerful tool, but it is a call to put it back in its proper place, as one of many inputs, not the sole dictator of our creative lives. We need to build our own metrics for success, fulfillment, pride, personal growth, and genuine connection with a community, no matter how small. The creator economy is a massive industry, with some estimates placing its value over $200 billion in 2025, but it's built on the backs of individuals. If those individuals are burning out and losing their passion, the entire ecosystem becomes less vibrant, less interesting, and ultimately less human. Why don't we try to bring the fun back? Why don't we try to make the things we love again? I know I'm not alone in feeling this way, so I want to ask you, if you're a creator, have you ever felt this pressure? Have you abandoned an idea you loved because you thought it wouldn't perform? And if you're a viewer, does content feel more homogenized to you? Share your stories in the comments below. Let's talk about how we can build a more creative and fulfilling future on this platform. That's all I've got for this video. Remember to like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good morning, a good afternoon, or a good night.